greatness is about to arrive on our show. Y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all. Let's get her out here. She's in the green room. That she is. Miss Liz Priestley. What is going on, Liz?
Oh my goodness. Hi. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm fabulous. You know what I'm saying? I've been working all day. I've been podcasting all day. You know what I'm saying? That's Liz, your microphone turned over. What's going on with you?
I'm so excited to see you. I'm knocking over stuff. I'm like, he's here. He's real. Oh my God.
Well, Liz, let me tell you what I got going on right now.
Okay.
Now, I do my show live on Twitch.
Yes.
Every night, Monday through Wednesday, sometimes Thursday. And Liz, the kind of guests that I have are people that have accomplished things. You know, they accomplish things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other than that, I don't even want to talk to them.
I mean, it's your show. You can do whatever you want. I mean, I get it. I hear you.
You know, Liz, I could be talking to my next door neighbor. You know,
you sure could be.
And he moved out. He moved out.
Yeah, I get it.
I didn't even like talking to him no how.
I know. Whew.
But Liz,
this is making me nervous. Okay.
But Liz, you know, this is the world's most dangerous podcast, and you step into the danger zone.
I was thoroughly warned. You did warn me. You did say. I said okay, so I agreed to it. So right now it's on me. I'm here. It's on me.
Well, I'm glad you are here and you are gracing our presence. You know, with your presence. This is what the show needs, man. You know, Liz, let's get right into it.
Okay.
I was going over your bio.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at all of these different things. I'm like, wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. I mean, I'm looking at your education.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at an opera singer, a thespian, a dancer. What is really going on here?
If I had a nickel for every time I had that question, I'd be a rich lady. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm a poor man.
I know.
And I want to know. So give me your whole background. You don't have to go for it word for word. I mean, sector to sector, but your upbringing. Mm-hmm. You know, your parents. You know, because I have a daughter. I have a daughter myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and is that my voice I hear in the background? Because my deal picks up everything. Or is that?
I don't hear anything, but.
Hold on a second. It might be my.
That could be me. I don't know. I do have kind of a hard time with Streamcast, but
but what it is if your speakers are coming off your computer,
mm-hmm.
my speakers are picking it up. That's what's going on. But anyway,
would it help if I wore headphones?
Yes, much so.
Okay.
Or you can just turn it down somewhat, but then you might not be able to hear me.
I can hear you. I came prepared. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna need for the world's most dangerous podcast. You just gotta show up. That's all. You just gotta show up. And it's all. See, Liz, let me tell you this. All right.
Before you get into your, everything I just asked you about.
Yes.
Right now, we are streaming live on Twitch.
Yes.
Right now, we are streaming live on Facebook.
That is so cool.
And right now, we are streaming live on YouTube.
That is so awesome.
Now, how many people got you streaming live in three? Oh, that was 4, but 3 different streaming outlets.
I mean, it's the world's most dangerous podcast, Stevie Ray. I would expect nothing less. This is amazing. I'm so honored. I'm trying not to geek out because I really am a huge fan, and I know you hear this all the time, but I'm so honored.
Oh, I appreciate that. You really make me feel good. You really make me feel good. But like I was saying, my daughter, I remember all the money I spent on dance lessons, all the money I spent on voice lessons, acting coaches. You know what I could have did with that money?
I do. I'm a parent too. So, I mean, I do. But, I'm glad that I had all of it. It's all worked out and it's all served me well in different times in my life, in different areas you wouldn't think would be connected. So I'm glad I had it all. And, it's good, but I'm most happy that I am now doing what I've always wanted to do, because I had all those other pieces in there and that was really great. And it was, like I said, it served me well. But the one thing I always wanted to do was make films. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm most happy about that. Yeah.
That's great, man. Now, a lot of people are chiming in right now. They're like, oh, she's in the Concrete Cowboy.
Yes.
She's one of the lead actors. Well, let me let y'all in on a little something. Stevie Ray will get to that when I get to it. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all what was up. We'll get to all of that in a minute. Right now, we're trying to learn a little bit more about Liz. Liz, how long have you been wanting to be an entertainer? Were you just born an entertainer? Like some little kids, like my daughter. She was a little kid and she used to imitate me.
Yes. Yeah. So did
was that
I'm going to say that without hopefully being offensive. So did I also used to impersonate you.
Wait a minute. You impersonated? Oh, come on.
I went as you with my friend May for Halloween one year, as you and your brother for Halloween. Yes, I did.
What?
I was trying to find the picture. I cannot find it. If I find it, I will send it to you. But this is a true story. I went as you for Halloween in 7th grade. You guys, I'm geeking out. Like this never happened.
I thought you were going to imitate me. I didn't know you actually dressed up and walked around as me.
Like, yeah.
Well, I'm flattered. I'm really flattered.
I'm flattered to be here. Like this is.
I'm gonna tell you what I get. I'm gonna tell you what I get a lot. Guys that were little, young brothers or something like that, and they would tell me, me and my brother used to fight each other in the bedroom, and I'd be Booker T and I'd be Stevie Ray, stuff like that. But this is the first time a female to tell me I actually became you in a costume and the whole gimmick. Oh my goodness!
One of my older sisters. I have 5 sisters, and this is an answer to your question. This is why I think I was born an entertainer, and from a very young age, I always wanted to, be in front of the camera because when you live in a house of all women, you just are like clamoring for attention. But I had one of my older sisters. She and I, one of the things that we actually really super connected on was the fact that she loved wrestling. And I was like, huh? And I remember like I sat down with her one day and I watched it with her and she was explaining all the plot lines and the people and and I was hooked. I was like, what? And yeah, there was like a few years in there where it was like, a weekly thing, like, is Raw on? Oh, Raw is on tonight. Oh, no, it's World of War. Okay. Oh, and like that was like a scheduled thing. So yes, I went as you because also I'm an actor. And so when it comes to Halloween, which I consider one of my like high holy days, you got to go all out. You know what I'm saying? So like,
no, actually I don't.
No, you can't go as like, so I never try to go as anything like generic. I always try to go as
like Casper the Ghost or something like that.
Yeah, or like Ghost with a bed sheet. Like that's basic. You know what I'm saying? Or like I want to go like and even when I was a kid, this is true. Like if I knocked on your door to trick or treat, I want you to open the door and know who I am. You know what I mean? Like I want you to be like Diana Ross or
that's cool.
Stevie Ray. You know what I mean? So I did. I've gone as like Easy E. I've done real weird. I've gone as Lil' Kim too. I don't just go as men. I do the weird.
I'm going to be honest with you about Halloween. I can't stand Halloween.
No, why?
Can't stand it.
Is it the giving out the candy you don't like?
All them kids knocking on my door. I'm like,
do you know? Because I live in an apartment, I don't get kids coming to my door.
Well, I just moved into a condo a year ago.
Oh, okay.
But the house I sold and moved out of, I was in for 19 years.
Yeah.
So, and I had the house built when the neighborhood was getting built.
Okay.
So as the neighborhood grew, the more kids start to come by. And I lived in a very multiracial neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. Trick or treat. I'm like, and it would always,
Just
Halloween always come on a night where I'm doing something or watching something on television, and I can't even get to enjoy it. Some lady
you don't turn the lights out?
No,
you're not gonna.
See, like, my outdoor light, it came on automatically.
Oh,
if you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just came on unless I went out there and unscrewed the bulb. But everybody in the neighborhood knew me though. You got to realize.
Yeah, and
I'm the first guy. So all the kids grew up. You know what I'm saying? Knowing who I was. And my daughter went to school with a lot of them.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like, well, I know he got some candy over there. You know.
Trust and believe, you would be the first house on my list if I lived in your neighborhood. I would be like, we're going to see your race, let's go. Bam, 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 bam. I would be making multiple appearances throughout the night in different costumes. You'd be like, haven't I seen you before? I'd be like, no. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You got to do it. I think it just comes with, I hate to say that because, I do. Celebrities, I do feel bad, and yes, I do consider you a celebrity because you are. But it must be tough to have to give up a certain amount of anonymity just because you're famous, and it's just no, I just want to sit in front of my TV and watch Poltergeist.
No, it wasn't like that at all. No, I really relish, because like I said, my daughter knew a lot of these kids, so they knew who I was. Nobody really bothered me in my neighborhood. But a lot of those kids, would. You come over to my house because I was the only house in the whole neighborhood that had a pool. So
there's that too.
So the kids didn't want to go to the neighborhood pool.
Yeah, no.
So many of them would come.
Yeah.
And swim. I would let them swim in my backyard because I didn't use it. I only bought a pool for my daughter because she likes to swim. Because she's been going to the Y since she was 5 years old. So once she got, I don't know, what was she, 8? Maybe 9, I built a pool in my backyard.
Yeah. Okay.
And then my neighbors and different little kids. So a lot of these little kids that were her age, my daughter's 25 now, 26, whatever she is. When they were little, I used to talk to a lot of them. They would come over and just want to talk, stuff like that. So they would come over and I'll be watching the fights, or they'll come over and help me put the ghost card in my DirecTV so I could watch the fights for free. They could do all kind of stuff. You talking about little
kids are great for that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Little Asian kids, Arabic kids, Pakistani, Indian, Black, Hispanic, white. That was my whole neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as they got older, they would always want to come and talk about. And I guess I gave them fatherly advice because I only have a daughter. I don't know what it's like raising a son, but they all of them turned out to be great kids. Starting their own businesses. Some went to college, so on and so forth. And a lot of them I'm still cool with to this day.
Yeah. See, that's a great thing. And the house that I grew up in, we were one of 2 houses on the block that had a pool. So same thing. We always had, kids over and I did. My dad was kind of like that too. Like a lot of the neighborhood kids would always come over and just kind of hang out and talk to him. And he's still like, now my dad's on Facebook, which is so funny to me. It's like
really?
My parents doing social media is weird.
Oh, they're watching the show tonight?
I hope so. I gave them, cool. I sent them the flyer. I gave them the whole thing. My sister freaked out when I told her about you. She freaked out appropriately. It was hilarious. I was waiting for it. I was waiting to tell her, and I was doing the whole build-up. I was like, I'm doing a special podcast. And she's like, okay. And then I the flyer you sent me, I texted it over.
Right, good.
It was awesome.
I want the whole. Amazing. Now, I want to know. You get as a youngster, you get into acting, and how do you get into this multifaceted type of, from drama to operatic singing and all that?
Lots of ways
How does this all take place? Y'all.
Oh, and I see I'm getting glitchy.
No, you're good now.
Yeah, I see it. All right.
You're good now.
Okay. We just had like a really bad. Yes, I did. We just had a really bad snowstorm up here yesterday. So literally, like all of my power lines and everything are covered in ice. So this, I hope.
Where are you exactly? You're in Jersey?
I'm in Philly.
Philly.
where we shot the movie. Yeah, it's, how I got into it is that, again, watching older siblings who were into music. My older sisters played instruments, so then I played an instrument. And my
I see that you're a violinist.
Yes, yes. That's actually what I started with first. Why
not the flute? Why not the flute? Or something like that.
Do you know I begged my parents for years to play the flute, and they refused. They were like,
so let me ask you something. No. Did you have to do those little recitals?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. But again, I'm grateful for it now because now, theater, it's live, it's in front of, and this is what I always say. I'm like, if you learn how to play through those concerts because no parent likes being at those recitals, even the ones videotaping, they don't want to be there. So if you can play through parents reading, talking, unwrapping candy, playing games, doing whatever, anything else but paying attention to you. If you could get through that, you can get through any theater production ever, anywhere with anyone, because it is the best training ground. Because, I started violin when I was 4. Wow. And then I kept on with that up until I can still play. I did it for about 22 years total before I stopped really, taking lessons.
Now, let me hold on a second. Let's back up here. I had a guy last night on the show that goes by the Maestro.
Okay.
He's a musician also.
Yeah.
And then he starts telling me certain stories, and I have to back him up. So here go another musician. So I'm not going to do you the same way here. So let's take things back in a little chronological order here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
You already jumped up 22 years. No.
That's just one of many things.
Oh, I already know it's one of many things. That's what we're talking about.
Yes.
A multifaceted, talented person like yourself.
Well, thank you.
I'm just saying that's what the reason I'm saying that. The reason I'm fascinated by it is I've met so many celebrities, actors, singers, musicians, and stuff like that, and a lot of people just don't know what I call the wrench time that you have to put in to perfect something, and that's just learning one thing. Learning several things, that is the kind of dedication that a lot of people just really don't understand.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
Yeah, and the sacrifice that it takes at the young age to want to be good at something. Everybody, and the reason I say that, everybody sees things when it's perfected. Yeah. That's the easy part.
Yeah. That's so true.
Or look at a house after it get built, but you didn't look at ain't no need looking at the house when it's getting built because you don't even know what you're looking at. Sure.
Oh, sure. And in my industry, you always hear the phrase overnight success, and there's no such thing. There's no such thing. Yeah. It's like
I think it is nowadays.
Well, maybe with social media, but that doesn't necessarily translate to, like, if you have a lot of social media followers, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're good at something other than promoting yourself.
Actually, you say that. This is a conversation I've had with my daughter, and I used to always tell her. Me and my daughter I used to always talk to her like she was much older than what she was, because I always wanted her comprehension to be very high.
Sure.
Anybody can listen, but your comprehension is totally different.
Sure.
So it was almost like a learning thing. But I would always talk to her. I said, baby, when I was little, when I was a kid, the only way someone knew who you were was if you committed a heinous crime or that you're very talented.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that sad? But yeah, I agree with that.
That was the only way. Now, I say you look at things nowadays, people, even the one-hit wonders when I was coming up, could live off a song for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And you know what I say
that doesn't happen anymore, for sure.
Man, one-hit wonder, yes, exactly what you are. One hit, and nobody cares.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So many pass by, you're just like, oh, that
yeah. Who's that guy? You know? But anyway, the violin, then the singing. What did the voice? Where did the voice come from?
That, and that was a fluke. I with violin, I had gotten up to several hours a day of practicing, which is a lot. I mean, we're talking about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So, you got to commit time before school and after school. And I was in an orchestra, and it was a lot, but I didn't love it. And I knew I didn't love it. And so when I was about 14, I said to my parents, look, this is not something I love. I will continue to do it because I know I'm good at it. And I think in the future, this could serve me well, but I'm not loving it. I want to quit. And they, and I love my lovely conservative religious parents, but they were just like, you cannot you have a musical ability gift. This is a rare thing. You cannot just throw it away. If you're going to stop violin, that's fine, but you got to pick something else to do because you can't just not.
You lucky you ain't my daughter.
Down. I know.
You lucky you ain't my daughter.
Yeah.
I would have said all that money I done spent on the violin lessons.
I know.
You better get in there. You better get in there.
Continue. I said I would continue. I was like, it was just like, for all this time and effort that I'm putting in, I was like, I should love this more than I do. But I said, okay, I get it. I said, okay, I'll pick something else. I was like, I'll pick something else musical. And the first thing that came to my head, I was like, I'll try voice lessons. Like, that's literally. They said, okay. And they took me to a woman who was an opera singer, and she, taught. And she said, well, I don't take students under the age of 16 because you're as a female, your voice changes several times when you're singing. And so the last time is after 16. Okay. So she's like, I don't take students under 16. But my mom was just like, well, can she just sing for you? So I did. And then she said to my parents, she said, well, look, I normally don't, because I was 14 at the time. She said, I normally don't take students her age, but she's quite good. So I'd like to teach her. And so she took me on as a student. And then I started studying opera with her. And because of that, I won a scholarship to study at Settlement Music School. And part of my scholarship requirements are that you then had to study piano. So that's when I added piano to that.
Wow. That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I could have had a singing career also.
Yeah?
Did you know that?
I didn't. Why didn't you do? Why?
I got kicked out of the choir.
Just one?
Yeah, a lady kicked me out of the choir,
Just one? It was just the one choir?
I lost all desire. I lost desire.
This is what I'm talking about. That desire that you lost after you got kicked out. You were like, that's it. It's not for me.
Well, I didn't have that much desire anyway, but I could have grew into it.
Well, yeah, you probably could have.
Yeah, it was this girl in the choir that I liked. This is in junior high, so that's the only reason I was in it. So that lady did me a favor. She did me a favor. So
the question is, did she do us a favor or did she do us a disservice? I don't know. I don't know what your voice sounds like, but now I'm curious.
Sometimes I sing a little bit, on my other podcast. I don't sing on. I think I've sing a couple of bars on this show, but I don't like to. People say, "Oh, Stevie Ray think he can do anything." I don't want people. I ain't like it. I'm not like you, multifaceted.
Oh, come on, no.
then I
Your voice is great.
I also saw that you are a dancer.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of dance training. I don't really dance much anymore because I've had injuries. So I don't do much anymore. But yeah.
What do? You fell and thump your toe or something like that?
No, I actually, you know what? It when I had my daughter, I had like complications in the birth.
How old is she?
She's 13 now.
Oh, okay. Well, but, you've had time to heal since then.
You would think, but it didn't. Things didn't heal the way they were supposed to, and so I had to stop dancing. But
me too. Me too.
Yeah,
I forgot to tell you, I also was a champion dancer.
Yes. Your face says something else.
Oh no, that's me.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, baby, I could get down, man. In the Texas Nationals in 1980.
Wow. Okay.
Texas Nationals. Me and my partner got 6th place.
Wow.
Out of 31 couples.
I am impressed. Legit. Did you have a favorite dance or that you like to do? Any style? Or?
You know what? I was good at everything.
Yeah. I believe it.
I was good at everything. I was twinkle toes.
Athletes I always feel like are surprisingly good dancers.
Yeah,
Do you find that?
I don't know about the rest of them, but I know about me.
I don't know. I just feel like I've seen a lot of athletes that are
because of certain, like sports. I came up playing baseball, basketball, ran track, football, the whole thing. So you have to have good footwork. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And back in those days, I wasn't 290 pounds. I was about 195. Maybe something like that. So I wasn't a really big guy. I was a muscular guy, but not a big guy. So, but I used to love dancing, kind of like yourself. But it wasn't the injuries that got me.
Yeah.
It was bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I started bodybuilding.
Really?
And my body just started to grow and grow and grow and grow. So the next thing you know, I'm not 195 pounds anymore. I'm 220 pounds now. Then, then you get the disease where when you look in the mirror, you don't see how big you are, and you want to get bigger and bigger and bigger. The next thing you know, I'm approaching 300 pounds,
Wow.
So that's the thing, man. But I used to love dancing myself, man. Now, a lot of people don't know that. I'm just on this show with you. You got it out of me. You got it out of me.
I am so honored. This is amazing. This is amazing.
Now, you got all this multifaceted things going on. The violin, the operatic singing, the dancing, the acting. Where does that come in at now?
The acting. So for me, the acting was alongside of all of that all along. I knew that I wanted to be an actor since I was about 7.
Okay.
And specifically, I wanted to make movies. I just, I was always fascinated by movies and the movie making process and the fact that there was a profession where you could play pretend for a living. I thought that was the coolest thing. I was like, I can dress up and pretend I'm someone else and get paid for that. That's the job for me. How do I do that? And as I got older, it was like that passion never went away. And when I was about 12, I started doing community theater and school plays. And I was just like, let me just try this out. Let me see. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. And I started doing more plays and more stuff. But at the same time that I was doing all of that, I live in Philadelphia, or just outside Philadelphia. So it's not like Los Angeles or one of those big kind of film towns. So there's not a lot of film stuff happening here. So I'd be doing plays, but then I'd be kind of writing my own little screenplays on the side and, borrowing dad's video camera and trying to film my own stuff type of thing. Okay. And then when it was like, when I got to senior year in high school, I was going into college and, my parents and everyone really at home being like, you really need to go into music. And I really felt this this is the time for me to really go into acting because this is what I want to do. But I felt, at that point in my life, I just was not strong in myself. So I said, I will compromise and I will go for musical theater. So I get all the training and I don't disappoint anyone.
Right.
And it ended up, again, serving me very well because that's where the dance training came in. And turns out I had a really good knack for musical theater, being able to combine the two talents that I had. And the training I got was really just amazing. I'm glad I did it. And then after I graduated, I moved to New York. And I was working as an actor, which was like a shock, I think, to everyone. It's just like, oh, she's doing it. Right. So yeah, I mean, it was awesome. And I did use music and musical theater to get, my foot in the door to where I really wanted to be. And that was kind of the beginning of all of that. It took a really long time. It took a long time.
Better late than never.
Yes.
But sometimes timing is just timing.
Yes.
Because I know a lot of people that were very successful at a very young age and didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah. I think I would have been one of those people.
Yeah.
As much as I like to think, I would have been ready for it. I don't think I would have been. I had a lot of maturing to do. And
right. And I know a lot of people that things didn't break for them. Take myself. I didn't get into professional wrestling until I was 29, almost 30 years old. And I already had my own business.
Wow.
And I had been around a lot of celebrities.
Wow.
Because I own my own security bodyguard company with another professional wrestler. And so talking to a lot of those people about a lot of things left an indelible impression in my mind. So I never, at that time, you go learn professional wrestling, go to a school and learn this, that. I never knew that it was going to take off. You know what I'm saying? I never knew that.
Yeah.
So when it did, by the mere fact that I've done a lot of things already, I was already grounded.
Yeah, exactly.
I was already grounded, and it didn't overwhelm me like it would have done me if I was 22
exactly.
or 23. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought I was ready when I graduated,
y'all. We got
college.
Oh, no, we're good.
Oh, okay. No, I was like, ready to hop in the car and drive out to California upon graduation.
Oh, really?
Parents were like, absolutely not. No.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. Oh, yeah. No, you ain't going nowhere. Sorry, guys.
And then
Hold on a second. Let me check something here. Okay, she's back, I think, guys. Okay, there she is. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, did it come back?
I'm checking my I'm checking all my stuff right now. Yeah, you're back. Go ahead.
Okay. I have no idea what I was saying.
You got people saying this. You got people saying right now they think it's just the Philadelphia weather, and a couple other people were saying they were buffering. I guess they were watching on YouTube or something like that, and it started buffering, or either Facebook and stuff. So they went back to the Twitch app. So, gotcha. And I might be splitting my stream since I'm doing it on because of you. I'm doing it on 3 different streaming outlets right now, and I might be splitting it up too much, man. Because I usually just do Facebook. I'm sorry, I usually just do Twitch, and I just started doing YouTube last week. And
no, it might be me. I was having trouble with it last night, and
oh, really?
Yeah, this we had like an ice storm after the snow, so it's really, I don't even know how I have power at the moment, but We're back and it's good.
Somebody say Club or Die. That's their name. Club or Die. Wow. I came to say thanks, Stevie, for streaming this. Okay, well, I appreciate it, Club or Die. I don't just call you Club because the other part actually disturbs me. But anyway. I'll just call her. Yeah, I'll just call her Club. I appreciate you riding with us, Club. Now
that is so funny.
And the lady behind that decision. Hey, I appreciate that, Club. She's right. I think she's a new follower. But anyway, now you're on Broadway.
Well, I never
off Broadway, maybe.
But I did get to work. So we'll say I was off Broadway. No, I mean I did a few shows. Am I buffing again? Oh, I did a few shows in New York, and then I got a national tour. So I got to tour the country for 6 months. That was an incredible experience. Yeah, I was in a musical. It's called Seussical the Musical, which is a musical based on the characters of Dr. Seuss. It was hilarious.
What they have, green eggs and ham on there or something?
Yeah, we sure did. That's one of the songs in the thing. Yeah, it's it's about Court and the Elephant, but then all the other characters kind of pop in. It's hosted by the Cat in the Hat, and I played a character called the Sour Kangaroo, who she's kind of an Aretha Franklin type of character. Okay. So actually, it was a stretch for me because I had really only done opera, and I struggled with musical theater, with the musical theater sound, because opera has a very distinct sound. Broadway has a very distinct sound. So I had to really work on changing my voice and being able to, we call it faking, to be able to play a part. And, because of the thing that they kept asking me to work on was like, you got to make sure you have a gospel type sound because you're going to get called for that a lot.
Well, so wait a minute. You never sing in church?
I sang in church all the time. I sang in my church growing up.
Now, what's hard about getting that gospel sound going then?
I went to a Presbyterian church.
What do y'all do in a Presbyterian church? I'm not familiar with that.
We clap on beats 1 and 3.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. Listen.
Sorry. Oh my God.
We clap on beats 1 and 3.
I mean, the Philly sound. Being from Philly, okay. The Philly sound has so many hit songs, and I'm quite sure you grew up listening to them.
I did, but you have to understand. I'm actually technically from the suburbs. I'm adopted, so my parents are white. Most of my family is white. So the stuff I listened to growing up is probably
that was the problem right there. I'm sorry. I mean, that was the problem. You wasn't around the real Philly sound. You wasn't around Dan Hall and John Oates. You wasn't around Dan Hall and John Oates. They from Philly, but they got a lot of soul.
So funny, yes. And I love Hall & Oates. Hall & Oates.
Oh, you better love Hall & Oates. What you talking about?
They're amazing.
Exactly.
No, thankfully, we have a lot of music in the house. Well,
no Huff and Gamble.
Do you know what's funny? I did my very first professional show was with Dee Dee Sharp. And my dad and I bought her a hot dog, and we were talking with her, and my dad dog forgot, because we were like on the corner, bought her hot dog.
Yeah, that's right. They always down there in Philly. They always sell stuff on the corner. Yeah,
we're standing there and we're talking to her, and he forgot that Dee Dee Sharp had a very terrible relationship with Huff of Gamble
Leon Huff,
and said something about it to her, and she got so upset. So upset. I was like 13 at the time, so I was like, I didn't know what the story was. I didn't know what happened. I just remember my dad said something and it was like she lost color from her face. I was like, what happened? And then like the next day, we had a show the next day and she showed up and she came over to us and she was like, everything's all forgiven. And we were like, okay. And we were fine after that. But
I never knew Leon Huff had a relationship with her. I think she'd be more of a Kenny Gamble guy.
Yeah, no, it was, and apparently it was a very contentious, divorce. I hope nobody minds me telling this, but yeah. And then I was like, how could you forget something like that? How you clearly had it in your mind that like you knew something about them together. How could you not finish the thought and be like, oh yeah, it's because you had this horrible divorce? I was so upset, but thankfully she was so sweet and lovely. Yeah. But I got to work with her. I got to sing with her. She was amazing.
Good, yeah. Man. I forgot all about her. I remember her, man.
Yeah,
man.
Beautiful.
She's good. She's good. Yeah, man. Hey, man, them guys like Leon Huff and Kenny Gamble, they get all the
yeah.
So they write all the songs. You know what I'm saying? They're just, hey, let me write you a song. You know what I'm saying?
That's that hook, because they're usually not the cute ones. But if you say, I'll write you a hit song, come on now. You'd be like, yeah, write me a hit song.
How many songs that them guys write? Goodness. Woo, man.
Write great music. Yeah. So,
God, man. Yeah. Talking about some gifted individuals. Good
exactly.
Lord,
exactly. Bro. And that's one of the things I love about Philly. Like, I'm here and I'm technically in the suburbs, but our city is so rich with history and especially musical history. And so on the opera side of things, I was able to win an award that was named after one of the most famous opera singers of all time who came from Philadelphia, Mario Lanza.
Okay.
And so when I won his award, I had, I did a little research on who he was. And so if you think about the R&B sound and the Philly, and even like later on, like the Boys to Men, New Jack Swing sound from Philly and everything. But if you think on the opera side, we have some pretty standout people on that side too. So it was cool to be associated with that because
that's great, man.
Yeah.
That's
so,
great.
Philly's.
Yeah, I've been to
We're
Philly.
not just known for being bad sports fans. We really
I know. That's why me and my brother would always come there. Everybody just root for us because we were the bad guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
And we couldn't do no wrong.
We love a villain. We really,
walk out and the people would go nuts. You know what I'm saying? It's like me and my brother looking at each other like, I remember the first time we went there, we looking at each other like, wait a minute, we're the heels. That's what we call it in the business.
Yeah, heels.
We're the heels. I mean, as we walking down, like you're trying to look mean.
Yeah.
And we're trying to keep from laughing because it's like, this ain't right. You know what I'm saying?
Expecting booze.
Yeah. Look, we go all over the country. We would go all over the country. You know how professional wrestling is. Just like doing a play. You all over the country, man. And wherever we went, people hated us.
Yeah, of course.
But they wanted to root for it. They liked us, but they hated us.
Well, and
Philly, oh my God. I'm trying to remember. Was it the Spectrum?
Yes.
Yeah. Spectrum.
Great.
And every time we went there, man, it was like, oh, here we go.
There you go.
And then whoever we was working with would always be like, oh man, you guys gonna be the baby faces tonight. You guys are gonna be the baby faces tonight because it's an awkward feeling.
Yeah, there's something about seeing, someone or some people in this case who look like us up there doing the thing. It doesn't matter if you're a heel or not. And Philly is one of those cities that really, champions their people of color. I mean, we do. And so, yeah, I can imagine that, seeing you and your brother and walking out in the Spectrum, it had to have been just like,
no, it's crazy.
Oh my God, it's him. Oh my God, yeah.
This is kind of backwards. You know what I'm saying? Going on here.
Thus adding to the Philly reputation. However, I love it.
Yeah, man. I mean, when they boo Santa Claus, that's when you know the day it's done.
Oh God. will never live that. We will never.
How do you boo Santa Claus?
I don't know. I was not there. I don't know.
What's wrong with them people? Come on now.
I don't know. It's kind of
Santa Claus just trying to bring little kids some
I
gifts.
know.
What did he ever do
joy.
wrong?
He just came to bring joy. It's one of those. It will forever be kind of a stain on our. Yeah.
Okay,
it's so sad because everybody brings it up. Everybody
yeah.
brings it up, and I'm like, I know, guys, we're much nicer than that, kinda.
Yeah, Philly was always a nice town, man. I always loved going to Philly, man. Always a nice town because we'd have to do that whole New York, but when we'd be in that part of the
that circuit
country,
thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was always cool to go there, man. I mean, I don't know why. Well, we always had a good time there. But anyway, let's bring things up to modern times.
Yes.
Let's bring things up to The Concrete Cowboy.
Yes.
Starring Idris Elba and Liz Priestley. Tell me how you got that role, what this movie foretells as it portrays Idris Elba as a black cowboy.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, before you get into that,
yes,
I think I got a problem with that.
Why?
Idris Elba is not American.
No, he's not. But
I want to know what an Englishman would know about a black American cowboy.
I understand. I do. And
I just wanted to put that in before you started because I want you to think about that because with Idris Elba, I got a few words I'm going to say about him after you finish your diatribe. Now go ahead.
I do understand that, and I get it. But it does go back to a whole other conversation of actors of color on both sides of the pond. Is it appropriate for an American black actor to play a British person and vice versa? Is it appropriate for British black actors to come over and play American parts? And it's an interesting conversation because it's one that keeps coming up like more and more frequently. So I'm hearing a lot more, dialogue on this, and really my own feelings on it are.
Wait a minute. Before you answer that, you don't have to answer that.
Okay.
You don't have to give me your feelings on that.
All
I
right.
was just giving you my feelings on. First of all, no, go ahead and I'll get to him in a minute. Go ahead and finish. Tell me how you got the role. Tell me about the movie. I'm gonna get on him. I'm gonna get on Mr. Alba in a minute. So go ahead and you're talking about Liz right now.
All right, fair enough. So how I got involved. So yeah, I signed with a manager about 2 years ago. I finally decided I was financially in a position where I could stop working 9 to 5s because I've been doing that to, raise a kid, put money on the table, make sure my bills are paid, all that good stuff. And in the meantime, doing lots and lots and lots of theater. Because I was really just like, one day I'm going to get in front of an agent and they're going to need to know that I was working all of this time and that I was putting credits on my resume and that I was working with people. So that was my goal for about 12 years. Okay. So I did that and then signed with an agent and she started sending me out for commercials and I booked a couple of those, which was really cool.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got to stop you right there.
Okay.
Foam Knuckles. He just put a message out here. You see that? You see what he's saying? He says she's got some pretty skin.
Oh, the last one.
Not trying to be weird or anything. If you're trying to be weird, why don't you put it out there for everybody to see it?
I'm not weirded out. Thank you, Foam Knuckles. I think that's very sweet of you, and I appreciate it.
Hey, Foam Knuckles, I'm trying to conduct the interview here, okay? Keep your eyes in your head, all right? I'll take care of those guys, Liz. Go ahead and keep on.
You're so funny.
Thank you,
Stevie Ray. I appreciate you, but I appreciate you too, Foam Knuckles.
Yeah, keep your eyes in your head.
No. So I did the commercials. Then I did a TV show. I actually got a part on Jessica Jones.
Okay.
And then my part got cut for time, which was sad.
Oh.
So I know. But then right after that, I got a script. My agent, she sent it to me. She's like, you have an audition. I read it. And I remember in the script, it said something about like the character that I was auditioning for. It was like, she looks like she's lived a hard life.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Awesome. So I said to my manager, I said, is it all right if I go in and audition looking really like rough? And she said, yeah, go for it. So at that time, I had no idea that Idris was involved. I knew something about, a cowboy movie, something about shooting in Philadelphia, but I didn't really pay attention to that. So I went a little method with my audition. I went a little method. I don't normally, that's not my style.
Why don't you give us a little bit? Why don't you give us a little bit of that audition?
Well, oh gosh. What was the scene? They gave me 4 scenes, which is unusual because I have an audition tomorrow where I have 1 line.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Pick a piece of one.
Okay.
That you can remember.
Oh, so it would have been one of the scenes I did was actually cut from the movie, so I can do that one. Okay. I was with a cop. And
a cop?
Yeah, I was with a cop.
In a cowboy movie?
Yeah. So my character, hold on. All right. So let me back up. So my character, the movie is, yes, it's about a group of Black cowboys in the city of Philadelphia. However, the actual movie, it's about a young teenage boy who's acting up at his home in Detroit. And that's my son. So we are from Detroit. So
This is a cowboy movie or a hip hop movie?
No, it's a cowboy movie.
Okay.
So I'm basically like, all right, you've just been kicked out of like your 3rd school in a year. Oh. I'm at the end of my rope with you. Okay. I'm taking you to your dad's. And I basically
This is your son. How old is he?
15.
Okay.
So I basically drive him overnight to his dad in Philadelphia and dump him on his dad's doorstep. That's how we get to Philadelphia. Wow. But what I don't tell him, which strikes me now as kind of odd and also unfair, I never explained to him that like your dad is a modern day cowboy. He doesn't know this. And he and his father don't have a relationship. So, when I dump him on his doorstep in the middle of the night, it's like the scene that is now out there online as the trailer, which everyone has seen, which is when he walks into his father's house and there is a horse in his living room. That's the introduction to that world. So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the scene that got cut that I auditioned for, at that point, my character was written because she changed. But at that point, my character was written as, she had a drug problem. She was going to rehab. She was really, rough.
Yeah, yeah.
So there was a scene where she was being evicted from her apartment. So I was with the cop and he was basically like, you have 15 minutes to get in, get as much stuff as you can, and you got to get out. That was the scene. And I'm basically pleading with him to give me more time. And I think I said a line, something like, my son isn't here. Like, I need to wait for my son, something like that. But that was one of the scenes I auditioned for. But they sent me 4, which is, that's a lot. I know I have not gotten that many since. So they sent me 4 complete scenes. I read the description and I said, yeah, I'm going to go in looking real rough. So I remember my audition was on a Monday and I had gotten the script on a Friday.
Oh, wow.
So that weekend I stayed up the entire weekend. I never went to sleep.
Oh, wow.
I stayed up for 3 days. I drank so much coffee and I had like circles under my eye. It was terrible. And I just ran lines over and over and over again. I made sure I was memorized. And I used like a lot of makeup to really just make me look really, horrible. And I was crying and I go in, I'm wearing clothes that had like holes in them. I have a scarf on my head. I looked awful. But I remember at the time, my focus was, I'm not even worried about, will I get cast in this film? I just wanted to show the casting director, who I had seen several times, that I could do drama. because she had called me in several times for, I call them Walmart moms.
Oh, Lord.
Do you know those commercials where it's the mom who's like, who's ready for school?
Oh,
like,
yeah. I got you.
So I was like, I want her to know I can do drama. So I wasn't even thinking like, oh, I'm going to get the part. I just want her to be like, we can keep calling her in for dramatic stuff. So I did the first audition and I left. And then a couple days later, they called me. They said, we want you to come back. We want to see you again. And so I did the whole thing again. I had to stay up for 3 days, did the whole coffee thing, all of it. And also, I forgot to mention, there was, because she had a very different way of speaking than I do, because I do sound very suburban and kind of valley girlish if I really want to. She doesn't sound that way. So I found this girl on YouTube who reviews episodes of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
And I watched her for like 16 hours and voiced my speech patterns on her. So that's who you hear in the movie is my imitation of her. But I did all that. I go in and I do the second audition. And about that time is when I started hearing more about Cowboy movie, Philadelphia, Idris Elba. I'm like, huh? So like the day before my audition, I looked and I'm looking at the plot of the movie and I'm like, I'm talking about my son. Well, Idris is not playing the son, obviously. He's 15. So I think Idris is playing, excuse me, the dad. And I'm like, okay, well, then I'm definitely not going to get the part because I have no film credits. They're not going to give a huge part to someone who has no film credits. So now pressure's off of me. I could just focus on the casting director. I don't even have to think about that.
Right.
So I go in, do the second thing, and I leave. And then I get another call back. And at that point, I'm like, really? Excuse me. So my manager did a little inquiring. And that's when it kind of came back to me that what was happening behind the scenes was that the director had seen my tape and he really liked me. And he's like, I'm going to Philly and we're going to audition these blah, 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 but I want to see her. And basically, if I like her, we go with her. And the producers were like, we should get a name. We should call in Kerry Washington or Lupita or whoever on our short list of people.
Who wants to see them?
Well, at that point, because this was when COVID was not in the conversation. So where they were thinking theaters and they were like, if we have a name, that means money, that means butts and seats.
Yeah, that's what they think.
That's what they think. And the director was like, nah, I'm going to see her. And if she does it again, I go with her. I love him. Yeah.
Good for that director.
Yeah.
I need to get him on the show.
Yes. Ricky Staub. He needs to be on this show. He's amazing. But
really? What else has he done?
This is his film debut.
Then I don't need him on the show. gotta. I told you how it went before he got. I'll tell you how it went, but no, I'm just kidding.
No, he's great. I will love him forever for doing that because he came back out.
Hey, but you left an impression. That's good.
It was awesome. I met him the third time and I shook his hand. And at that point they had started rewriting the character and they were like, we're cutting this scene, we're cutting that. She's no longer got the drug thing, And I was like, do I change my performance? And they're like, just do what you were doing. I was like, okay. So I did it. And then a couple days after that, they called me and told me I got the part. And it was just like, they called me and I said, oh, okay, thank you so much. And I hung up, like it didn't sink in. And then I called my parents because they were away on a cruise. And I called them.
On a cruise?
Yeah, they were on a cruise.
Well, wait a minute. What time of year? What time of year was this?
This would have been July of 2019.
Of 19?
Yeah,
the COVID wasn't here yet.
Yeah, no, it was.
But everybody started getting sick on the cruise ships. Remember that?
Yes, but they came back healthy. They were good.
You tell that daddy to turn that boat around before he ends up like Gilligan on Gilligan's Island. They won't be able to come back to the States.
No,
for the
they came
COVID.
back healthy, thank goodness.
Good.
Yeah, but they were even like, oh, that's, it's great. And then I got a call like a day later and they're like, Miss Priestley, we need you to report to horse camp. And I was like, excuse me?
Yeah. You can
That's
learn how to ride.
That's when it sunk in.
Did you learn how to ride? Did you learn how to ride?
I sure did.
Really?
I had to learn. And that's how I met Idris, was on
I'm from Texas. I'm from Texas, and that's normal down here. Even in a big city like Houston, you will actually see people riding up and down the street with horses and stuff like it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying?
You don't see that in Philly so much.
Nah. But down here, down here, this is South Texas. So down here, that's normal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's really normal.
It's
tough. People don't know. People don't really realize how tough it is to ride a horse, and how uncomfortable it can be. You know how uncomfortable it can be.
It's hard.
Yeah,
I loved it. I fell in love with it, and I told them during the day, I was like, I want to do more of this. This is amazing. And they were like, anytime you want to come back, you can do it, because they were so sweet. But it's hard. It's very hard. Yeah. And I knew for my scene on the horse, I was going to be on with another person. So I had to train, on the horse with another person. And when you're holding on to someone else and not like a set of reins or like a saddle or something, it's uncomfortable and nerve-wracking because you're at the mercy of that other person.
Right.
So it was challenging. It was challenging. We had a nice smaller horse. The one that Idris had was a huge, I stood next to that thing and I was just like,
wow.
So I was really just like, oh my gosh. Like,
wow. And let me ask you this. Now, what is the name of your character? What is the name of your character?
It was scary.
What is the name of your character in the movie? Did you hear me?
I don't know. Yeah.
You don't know the name of your character?
Here's the thing. It's spelled, I'm going to tell you this. It's spelled Amahle, and no one could agree on a pronunciation of what that character's name was. And it's never spoken.
With the name?
It's in a book. This is actually based on a book.
Okay, it's based on a book, but sometimes even in books, they change names when it becomes a screenplay.
It's in the book, and it's never spoken in the movie. And so there were like 6 different pronunciations of my name, and no one could agree. I've been going with Amahle, but depending on who you ask, it could be Amahl, it could be Amahle, it could be Amahle. We have no idea.
Blackbird.
Or I just keep calling it Cole's mom.
Right.
Or Blackbird. Idris's wife.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Blackbird just said he's signing off. It's 3:30 in Germany. Hey, Blackbird, appreciate you.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Chiming along. Appreciate you chiming along, man, and stay healthy over there in Germany, because I think everything's back to normal over there almost. But hey, if I don't see you for Christmas, man, but I will be back on one day next week, so holla at your boy. But anyway, getting back to the movie. Mm-hmm. And you're giving the plot of the movie, so on and so forth. And a modern day guy in the concrete jungle and concrete cowboy riding around in Philadelphia. And it's all true. Now, how was it? Right. Now, how was it working with Idris Elba, who actually have become a pretty mainstream and leading guy?
Yeah, he's getting there.
Guy, really. So was he nice to you?
He is so sweet.
Wait a minute, you don't have to take up for him. Because if he wasn't nice, I will contact him myself.
Listen, I will tell you, on the set, 99.9% of the people I met and worked with were wonderful and sweet. There was one individual who was not, and I would say that. But Idris Elba is... I will tell you this. This is why he's so sweet. This is why I love him. We were sitting there. We were chit-chatting between takes, because I had about a day and a half with him. I had one day where it was our big scene, and then I had a half a day where it was like me and him and our son. But the day that he and I had our scene, we were sitting there chatting. He looked at me and he said, so what else would I have seen you in? What other movies have you done? And I said, oh, no, this is my debut. This is it. I haven't been in anything else. And he literally goes, I get to be in your film debut? And I just thought, like, really? Sir? Really? Because he could have just said, oh, that's great.
That's true.
And I would have been fine with that. But for him to even just take the time to be like, wow, I get to, and it was genuine. You know what I mean? Like, that's sweet. That's really nice. And I'll love him forever for that. You know, even if he wasn't good looking, you know.
Yeah, he better come over. He better know his beans from his cornbread. Then coming over to the States. He better treat our women right.
Yes.
That's what he better do. That's what he was best to do. And I hope he's watching.
He was awesome.
Where is he right now?
I hope he is too. Huh?
Is he in England?
He might be quarantining in England.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Because I know he came down with COVID earlier this year, but yeah, I mean he there were times where because Method Man is also in this movie.
Great actor.
Awesome. Oh my God. He's gonna blow people away in this movie too.
Really?
Oh yeah. I got to see some of his work and I knew he was a good actor, but this was like, I don't think people know. know. But there were times where he and Idris would just be sitting around with all the cowboys because there's real cowboys in our movie.
Right,
we shot in a real stables with real cowboys. And they would just be sitting there between takes talking with the guys, freestyle rapping, the two of them just rapping and, you know, just telling stories. And this is at like 3:00 in the morning when he could have been in his block long trailer and not socializing, but he was just out there because he just wanted to be.
Well, lucky I wasn't in the movie then. Look at what my trailer.
Well, I mean,
because I would have said, "Hey, look, y'all, I'm going to bed, and y'all do what y'all do. Don't bother me. Don't bother me till tomorrow."
Yeah, August in Philly is like prime mosquito season, so it was bad out there for a while. I mean,
oh man, hey,
you know,
the nature of the beast.
He just sat up there and he was cool, and I thought that was awesome. Caleb was equally awesome. You know, working with the two of them, I learned a lot because it was the first time on a film set. But I learned a lot. I got to just. It was cool. Like at one point, I'm standing there going, like, "Oh, I'm holding my own against Idris Elba. Like this is amazing." It's like, what?
Hey, but you put the wrench time in.
Yeah.
You know, it came at a inopportune. Well, I guess you can say inopportune, but you know, it came out the blue. But hey, the thing is, opportunity knocks.
Yes.
And when it knocks, you got to be ready.
You got to be ready.
When you're not ready. They'll see it. They'll see it. When you're not ready, they'll see it. So apparently you was ready. Because it caught somebody out and go, hey, boom. Get in here and get to getting. Time to go to work.
Ready. I have to say, from audition through to the end of filming and everything, this was a process that just felt smooth sailing from beginning to end. You know, I don't get nervous for auditions already. They're very easy for me. I just don't worry about them like that. But this was an audition process that even with the preparation and all the extra stuff that I was doing, it all just felt like, oh, and now I'm doing this, and now this, and then this, and this happens, and then next. And it just felt very like, oh, this all feels right. I'm not stressing about it. And you know, even the worst part of it was like the week and a half before I had to show up on set, knowing that like, oh, I'm going to be filming a major scene with Idris Elba and I just want to go right now and I have to wait a week and a half. That was the worst part. So, I mean, honestly, if that's the worst part.
That's the movie business. Hurry up and wait.
Yeah, it's like.
That's the movie business. You know, but let me ask you this. You know, you hear a lot of the guys conversing on the set. Did you hear anybody? Because I've been asked this many times, and I've had people go round and round with people on, you know, social media about this question. I'm just going to ask you. People have been asking me. Why they ask me, I don't know. Should Idris Elba be considered for James Bond?
Yeah. I asked him that.
I've been getting. So you asked him personally. I've been getting directly. This. So what was the answer?
I said I said, I don't know why. And I was half joking, but half serious. I said, and I don't know why you haven't been made James Bond yet. And his response was, I would say, half kind of sad, half kind of sad. Yeah. He basically said, I think that ship has sailed. And I think he was sad about it.
Oh, he was sad.
Yeah, I think
he's not James Bond. Well, let me tell you what I think. Let me tell you what I think. How about Mr. James Bond over here? Now, Will Smith, we're all familiar with him.
Sure.
He did a Western also. Yeah. Remember that Western?
Yeah.
It was called The Wild, Wild West with Kevin Kline.
Yeah, and it wasn't very good.
It stunk.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
I said
it's not that. Thank God.
It stunk.
Yeah.
Now I want to know. I grew up on the TV series, The Wild, Wild West. Mm-hmm. Robert Conrad. Mm-hmm. Very athletic actor, good-looking guy. Mm-hmm. He played that role to a T. Now I want to know, between me and you, and everybody out there that's listening, why did they make Will Smith James West? How did that happen? One of your Philly brothers?
I think.
Don't try to take up on him.
No. I can't defend it. I cannot defend it because I agree with you. And I agree with, I don't know how to pronounce that screen name, but the person who said one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It really is.
The.
I think so. One of the things that, actors that I can say, like Idris, because I've heard it from his own mouth, but that they're trying to push back against is the idea that just because.
Oh, I don't want to miss this.
Because you've made a movie that had come out with two really big blockbuster movies prior to that. And so the studios, who are notoriously, money hungry, whatever, the thinking was we can just plug him in to any part now because he's a guaranteed box office draw. So we're making a Western, we can just plug him into there because he's a box office draw. And as we all know, that is not the case, and that does not happen. And Will Smith is a great actor, but there's certain lanes that that actors have to. You just can't. Even if you are an actor, you just can't do everything. It just doesn't work. And
I'm gonna tell you what I think. I don't like when something years ago was this way, and then they change it up.
Like, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, when they updated that movie and made that a travesty. That was a travesty. And,
or the Honeymooners.
Or the Honeymooners. Wasn't that guy in both of them? Come on now.
Oh, ain't that? Yeah, I just forgot about
both of them. Come on, Cedric. No, it doesn't work. And I agree with you. I don't like when they update. First of all, I don't think you need to remake classics. I think we need to get away from remaking classics. I'm over it.
Check this out. I did my earlier podcast with Vince Russo earlier today. Guess was one of the subjects that we talked about today. You're gonna trip out. What? Remakes. And we had some of the people on the brand, we had put out a thing like, hey, tell us what's your favorite and worst remakes from classics to modern day, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And certain ones that he asked me which was my favorites. And like I said, certain ones were good when it came out modern because they didn't try to redo the movie.
That's what I'm saying.
They just made it was another movie with the same name. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like when they try to, like, A Star is Born. A Star is Born was good. It was a good movie when it was a classic. It was a good movie in the 70s, and it was a good movie today.
I mean,
all three of them.
To that, I'm tired of A Star is Born. I don't think.
Well, I understand that, but each movie was very good, and each movie was award-winning movies. So what I'm saying is, I'm not going to go out to the movie to see it, but even though I've seen them on television, they entertain me. Whereas some remakes go, this is straight garbage.
Yeah, no,
garbage.
That was garbage. That's
garbage. What I'm talking about.
And
not so much as
the script was garbage, and they were I think hoping to coast on the fact that Will Smith is charming. That is not a plot. That is a character trait. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot make a plot called Will Smith is charming. It doesn't work.
Me growing up on the series, okay? I think it ran from late 60s to early 70s. James West and Artemus Garden, his partner.
Yeah.
They worked for the government.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't nothing funny about these dudes.
Right.
If you see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Remember the movie Tombstone?
Yeah.
Kurt Russell?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It wasn't nothing funny about Doc Holliday.
Right.
And if you see, I mean, I'm no movie maker, but if you're going to do a TV series where, now Artie joked with James a lot when they were with themselves. Because Artie would always be the master of disguise when they have to go to a town.
Right.
And he would turn into and James comes in and does what he does, you know. But they were dead serious because they're going against real criminals.
Right. It was a crime show.
Like now, my man just put up here The Equalizer. A lot of people don't remember the television version of The Equalizer. Well, the television version of The Equalizer was a guy where people could call him that were in trouble, and he helped them get out of it. Similar to how Denzel Washington did, but he did in the first movie, he did it out of the goodness of his heart.
Right. Yeah. The plot set was different.
Right. Yeah. Now, at the end of the movie, you see him get on his computer where somebody needed help. You seem to remember that?
Right.
And he was telling them, okay, I'll come do this. So in essence, with all his vast training, I'm going to help people with it. In the second movie, remember he went and got the little girl for the lady that owned the bookstore.
Right.
So that TV series, the movie version didn't sway away from the TV version, other than the fact the guy in the TV version was a white guy.
Right.
But Denzel's a black guy, but he actually wasn't playing that guy. That particular guy. He was just playing a guy. That I can roll with, if you see what I'm saying. That I can roll with. Because in the TV version, he had his son with him. And his son was the kid that played in the Karate Kid that got beat up by Daniel.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people might not remember that. How I remember, I don't even know. I don't even know, but I remember that. But I'm like my man there. Something like the Wild Wild West, that show stayed on for a few years. Oh,
yeah.
And Robert Conrad, good-looking guy, got into a lot of fights. And I'm just saying, then they made it into this comedic thing with Kevin Kline and a black guy.
It had nothing to do with the source material. It was so disappointing. It was so disappointing.
What I'm saying is, I wish the characters were different, but they made it serious. If you know what I'm saying. They made it serious. Like, them guys got to stop somebody from blowing up Washington, D.C.
Right.
That was, you know what I'm saying? That's what, but it is what it is, man.
They rely, they think, and studios, that's the studio system. They think it's like, this is going to make the most money. We don't really care about the content. It's just going to make money. And I'm like, like you act like your audiences are more dumb than they are, because we're not. And we responded in kind. When that movie came out, it tanked. You know what I mean? It didn't make a lot of money.
Well, I want to know this. I want to know this from you.
Okay.
Before I let you go, I got a real actress on the show. She has great star presence. She has done everything, multifaceted, been on the big screen. Well, she's coming to the big screen.
Yes.
But has done the big budget movie. And that's what I'm gravitating to. Well, I want to know this. I would love to be the fly on the wall. Okay?
Yeah.
I would love to have been the fly on the wall when people producing and trying to raise money for movies come in, because this one I knew was all over. Come in and pitch the movie Soul Plane. Now you just said yourself, these people in the movie business in these studios think people are dumb. Then we really have to be the dumbest of the dumb and the stupidest of the stupid. Who pitched it and who agreed and said, let us raise money for this movie and put it out there for all to see?
In that instance, I think the only explanation for that would be the massive amounts of drugs that the individuals were on. I don't think there's any other explanation for that. I'm going to say these were drug-fueled moments and decisions, and we are all paying the price later.
I want to know what kind of hallucinogenic.
I don't know if I
want to know what kind of hallucinogenic someone was taking that day to say, let's put this out there for all the world to see. It's not a depiction of how people actually look at African Americans. I got a problem with that. And I got a problem with that people from my community, in my generation, and in my surroundings in this entertainment game didn't say something about this. I'm not going to let Hollywood put me down like this and everybody cool with it because they're getting a paycheck. Did I blow your Wi-Fi out? Hey, I think we got her back now. Oh. Yeah, you back. Can you hear me, Liz?
Just when you were getting so passionate and into your speech, it was like, blip, and I'm like, oh.
It got it on my end though, so we got tape of it.
That's good. No, all I was saying was, I think at that time you had a lot more people of color, or not even people of color, because we weren't in the rooms at that time, but you had a lot more people going, let's just play the game, as opposed to, I feel like now, where there's people being like, you know what? I'm sick of playing that game.
Yeah.
New game. You know what I mean? New game.
I saw that movie and I'm like, come on, bro.
It's exactly like what this person commented, that they think that movie was the reason we couldn't get serious movies with black leads for a while. I agree with that. I think that and a couple others really kind of.
My man is saying the same thing that you're saying right now.
Yeah, I think that there was a long while where it just continued this sort of modern day cooning, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, that's what I call it.
Yeah, cooning. And so I do. I think it set us back for a bit, but hopefully we're coming out of it.
When are you guys going to do the big? I know that whenever a movie comes out, you do this big grand opening thing, and you guys go and do.
I don't know if we're even doing that now because of COVID. I don't know what the plan is. I know there was a lot of stuff we wanted to do, and COVID really just kind of was like all that. So all I know is
let me ask you something
on Netflix. But yeah,
do you know when the release date is on Netflix?
I don't have a release date yet. I just know early 2021. So that could be like 3 weeks from now.
Couple weeks away, yeah.
You know, it could be a month from now. I have no idea. Yeah. I will keep you posted, though.
I tell you what, please keep me posted.
Yes.
And if you ever talk to Idris Elba in the near future,
Yes.
You tell him that I'm looking for him.
Okay.
That's what I want you to tell him.
I think he's gonna get scared.
No,
not
he
that I doubt
no.
Idris Elba, but like, I mean, if I heard that Stevie Ray Huffman was coming for me, I'd be like,
this is the thing. He was on this show.
Yeah.
He was on this show calling himself the King of Speed.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's see who's calling in, Liz.
Okay.
Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray. Holla at your boy.
What's up, Stevie Ray? It's Will over here in New York.
Hey, Will, what's up, man? We're just we're interviewing Liz right now, man. She's got a big movie coming out here in a minute, man, and we're just chopping it up with her. What's been going on with you, bro?
I'm just hanging and banging, man. Outside of that, my friend's dad passed away. He was a big fan.
Oh, okay.
And I think I sent the GoFundMe thing to you earlier on today. And I figured, let me put this out there if I can plug it. And I would like to know from the actress you got on today.
Okay.
What is she down on Netflix? Because I'm down to check it out.
Well, apparently it doesn't have a release date yet, but from what Liz was just saying, but they just said early 2021.
All right.
Yeah. I'm anxious to see it myself.
Right on, because I'm always looking for new stuff to watch.
Well, I'm just talking to her right now because I got a problem with her co-star, Mr. Idris Elba. I got a problem with this guy.
Come on.
Yeah, I got a problem with this guy, man.
What's the problem, Stevie?
Well, man, he come on a TV show one time talking about he the king of speed. And he got some fast cars and this kind of stuff, man. Now, where you gonna drive fast in England? They don't even have highways.
Not to mention, why is this fool talking? He's not the former 10-time WCW tag champion.
Well, that's why I got a problem with him.
That is true.
When Liz sees him, she gonna holler at him for me, and we're gonna get him on the show, dog.
I'm saying, ride down on that fool, man. He's recognized me. Real talk, dog.
Oh my
You already know, dog. You already know. First of all, he want to be a cowboy. Now he want to be James Bond. Who he gonna be next? The American president?
Yes.
Please, he couldn't pass for Andy Griffin if he tried. Come on, man. More like a Goma.
USMC.
The hate.
But man, I'm looking forward to seeing you at these conventions when they come back after this COVID insanity.
Oh, most definitely, brother. Be looking for you.
I hope I get to see you and book it together.
Yeah, I hope, we'll see, man, because I had a lot of them lined up this past year. This year, I had 7 appearances, two that was pending and 5 that was concrete right before COVID hit. You remember the WrestleMania it happened right before the WrestleMania.
Yeah. Well, that also hit right after Tommy Unger's big event.
Oh yeah.
Alpha and Sika was there.
Right.
And I got to meet up with Sika. I hadn't seen him in almost 20 years.
I seen him last year at WrestleCade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, and Samu, I seen him like a year before that.
Uh-huh.
And I got his autograph.
Right.
And I gotta tell you, I know Sika on a personal level. I worked with him in San Francisco doing security with his nephews.
Right.
And let me tell you, I got treated like one of the kids.
That's good, man. Those are always good guys, man. Today I was doing my other podcast with Rakish's new Samoan wear on, man.
Right.
Yeah, I was doing that, so I've given him a plug on the podcast.
Right on, man.
Yeah, bro.
All right, but man, I'm glad I finally got through to your show.
Okay.
I'm glad I finally got to talk to you outside of being on Facebook.
Oh, most definitely, man. But hey, man, I'm gonna check my Facebook, see if that deal on there, cause and I'll get it out there for you.
If you happen to come across my page and there's that picture of you and Booker, and they say who would win out in the match between Soul Patrol and Harlem Heat, forgive me. I'm a classic.
All right, dog. I got you.
But yeah, my man's dad's name was Juan Sanchez. He was a big fan.
Okay.
I mean, both sides. Even during the Monday Night Wars, this man would come and
Okay. Okay.
But I just wanted to put that out there, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. Hey, man, and don't be a stranger, brother.
I won't. And to the actress that you have on, all the best. And I hope you make a ton of money with this Netflix.
Hey, man, she got it going on, brother. This is just the beginning, brother. She's taking off. All right, brother. I'll talk you later. All right, peace, brother.
Thank you to your friend. I saw somebody on the comment said, she said, what has been the most rewarding part of your career? And I can quickly just say, being able to say to my parents that I accomplished a life goal and that I'm living the dream while they're still like here and lucid and able to, see it. And
well, that's the thing. You had a dream.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell a lot of young people when I go out and talk to people. If you ain't got a dream, anybody can want something. But when you got a dream, it's bigger than wanting something.
Yeah.
Because you live it inside your head every day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a dream. And I swear to God, when I talk to young people, I can't stress it enough. Because when you got a dream, man, you will do anything to try to make it happen.
It's so true.
That's passion. Once you're passionate about something, and then you add that with desire, nothing can hold you back. And I think that's what we see today with you, Liz. We see passion. We see that desire. We see the person that was willing to lay it on the line and do the wrench time and practice 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening to try to get her craft down to a certain level. Because I want to be good at something. I don't want to just be good at one thing. I'm going to be good at a lot of things. That's a special kind of person. And I appreciate you coming on my show and giving everybody, your life story, being in the big movies now, getting ready to take off. And everybody in the fam now that follows Strait Shooting with Stevie Ray, brother, they behind you right now. And they're going to be following you and they're going to be watching you with myself.
Thank you, guys.
But at the end of the day, before it's all over and done with, that Idris Elba, we looking for him. We looking for him. Because this is the world's most dangerous podcast. And I would love for him to come sit in the danger zone because we got to chop it up. That's right. Yeah, Mr. Cowboy Boots. We got to chop it up. Everybody's saying they're going to watch the movie now.
I would love that.
Oh, no. You get him on. You get him. I get both of y'all on together. You know what I'm saying? We're going to chop it up. Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Want to be James Bond. Charlie Ho, my chap. Yeah. You want to eat some crumpets. Yeah. You better get out of here. Better get out of here. I know. I'm just messing with him. I love the dude. I love the dude. I've been watching him. I love the dude and everything. He's just one of them guys that whatever he plays in, he's very, very good. It took me I didn't know for a long time the guy was English. That's how good he had the American accent down, man. So I joke with him a lot, but hey, man, I'm a big fan. The guy he's the cream of the crop. He's good. But that don't make no difference. We still need to get him on the show.
We need to make it happen. Yes.
Okay, Liz, we're gonna let you go now. I know it's a little later up there. Up there in Philly. I know you just got to put your daughter to sleep and everything. But we are watching, and hey, all the best to you. Appreciate you coming on the world's most dangerous podcast and chopping it up with your boy.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been such a blast. You have no idea. I'm
glad you liked it. Tell your sister I said hi.
I can't wait to tell her. I'll be like, Emily, Stevie Ray said hi.
Yeah, tell her I said hi.
Okay? I'm gonna. Thank you so much, Stevie Ray.
No problem. All the best to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right now. Talk to you later. Okay, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you guys enjoyed that, Miss Liz Priestley. And I'm going to take you guys out with my man Dan Hartman. And he calls this one Double on Love. Hope y'all guys enjoyed that one. And I'm gonna tell y'all, they not gonna get nothing but better, and better. Next week, my man Johnny B. Bad. Y'all know who he is, Mr. Mark Merle. Johnny B. Bad is gonna be here on the show. I don't know if it's gonna be Tuesday or Wednesday, but I'll keep everybody up on when we're gonna do it. But hey, whether you are on Facebook, whether you are on Twitch, whether you are on YouTube, I'm giving it to you for free for the rest of the month. So you better jump on board. And my man Dan Hartman says, 00 love, not 007 like Idris Elba trying to be. 00 love, because that's how we do it here. I love the family. My name is Stevie Ray, and this is the world's most dangerous podcast, Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray. And I am out.